You can just yell bingo at any given point in time. You get everlasting fame in return. Last time I brought smoked waffles, unfortunately this time I did not. I truly apologize, but I'll give you a personal high five. Then lastly, I've already been speaking for so long. Lastly, yet another reminder to write something in compliment bags. There's paper there. I'm sure you've all brought a pen. You can even just take some of the papers in a break, get them with you, and then write some stuff during GA, whilst you're also paying attention, of course. It's just small little things that can really mean the world to someone. What are you guys doing?
Yes.
Okay, quickly. Please. For the compliment bags, there's lots of paper out there. Write all the compliments you want. It's really great for everyone to just read and see by the end of the day. I'm calling the GA to order at 8:31 a.m. Copenhagen time. First up, roll call. You all know what to do. James put it in the text. Susanna. We're a GA now. Yes. Susanna, what will you do? I'm just going to say already, I'm going to have to call you out of order unless it's about the roll call, because that's the agenda point that's on the table now.
Turn this on. Like F.
Sorry.
Turn this off. Turn this closer. This closer. I'll do it. No one.
Okay, James.
James Taylor Jerky, IVSA expert. As I sent out the message last night, we are for roll call this morning. We went through some fun ones. You should probably all open the lyrics to "I Want It That Way." So, as I call your MO, you're just going to sing each line. You're going to sing one line, and then the next MO is going to sing the next line. So together, we're all going to sing the song. Starting with IVSA Kaja.
You're on my fire.
IVSA Croatia.
Believe when I say.
IVSA Czech Republic.
I want it that way.
IVSA Denmark. IVSA France.
But we are two worlds apart.
IVSA Germany.
Can reach to your heart.
IVSA Greece. IVSA India.
मुझे ऐसा चाहिए.
IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Ireland.
Ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
IVSA Italy. IVSA Latvia.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
IVSA Malaysia.
Never mind.
IVSA Mexico.
Ain't nothing but a
IVSA Morocco.
I want it that way.
IVSA Norway.
Am I your fire?
IVSA Peru.
Your one desire.
IVSA Poland.
Yes, I know. It's too late. We don't know the rhythm, you know.
South Korea.
No.
IVSA Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan.
And nothing but a mistake.
IVSA Netherlands.
Tell me why.
IVSA Tunisia.
I never wanna be saved.
IVSA Turkey.
I want it that way.
IVSA USA. IVSA UK. IVSA Venezuela.
From the way that it used to be.
I know we need to finish the song, but that's unfortunately what I feel about. So we have 50%, we have quorum.
Good job at showing up. Next up on the agenda is the topic president elections because it was untabled and then we never spoke about it ever again. So we have to quickly finish that since it was on the GA2 agenda and we're at GA3 now. Wanda?
Wanda, don't you try to say? Wanda. I'm sorry. Wanda, don't you try to say Exco? I move to withdraw topic 51, president elections.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah. So to explain it, Wanda, don't you try to say Exco 46? So the reason for withdrawing this is since we are moving with many important discussions in here, and I believe that we are kind of short on time, it is very good that we are having these discussions. The topic president elections for right now is not that well developed. However, I think it's good that you can still read the proposal that is in the delegates guide, but I plan on developing this idea better and then bringing it again for discussion during my term, so for in Indonesia.
Any further discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the proposal is withdrawn. Then we continue with GA3 nominations of the Executive Committee. Are there any nominations for Executive Committee? Yes.
Caroline Costas, IVSA Switzerland. Bidding number 10. I nominate Ahmed Hafez, IVSA Egypt, for the position of DAD.
Is there someone to accept on his behalf? Lisa?
I accept as well.
Lisa, do you want to? It's for the minutes. We know it's very small
We
details.
didn't do anything. Lisa, we don't have to say that. That's very bad. I just thought that as well.
Do we know if he wants to run for trust secretary or regional rep? Okay, then I urge the election committee to check that with him. He can also run for trust because he was a secretary previously, just so you guys know. Moana?
Moana Marathi, IVSA India, bidding number 53. I would like to nominate
Susanna Salvatore for the position of ERO.
Susanna?
Susanna Salvatore, IVSA, I accept.
Would you still want to run for trust secretary or regional rep?
Trust.
Trust. Okay. Any other nominations? Trinity?
To me, Dr. IVSA Ireland, I would like to donate, Naraba Abra, IVSA Rwanda, for DAD.
Okay. Is there someone to accept on their behalf? Try not to assume any genders here. Susanna? Or, you?
Susan Anjagay, IVSA Bar, number 4, I accept on his behalf.
Any other nominations? Oh, yeah, right, okay. So they want to run for regional representative in case they're elected. Tammy?
IVSA Peru, I would like to nominate National IVSA India for the position of the.
Okay. Is there someone to accept on Susanna on his behalf?
Susanna Salvatore, IVSA, winning number 74, I accept on his behalf.
And do we know if Avnish wants to run for regional rep or trust or secretary? He wants to run for regional rep in case he's not elected to Expo. Are there any nominations? Yes? Lots of extra nominations going on today.
IVSA Morocco, number 58. I nominate Tammy Negro for the position of English.
Tammy.
Tammy Negro, IVSA Peru, I accept.
Do you want to run for trust? She wants to run for trust. All right. Any other nominations? Moana? The night people are ready, but they will come to you.
Mohana Marathe, IVSA India, I would like to nominate Karina Khatik for the position of Public Relations Coordinator.
Karina?
So sorry.
Karina Khatik, IVSA Expo, I accept.
Karina has worded to me that she wants to run for trust in case she's not elected as PRC. Are there any other nominations? See any nominations are closed, and we'll reopen again for the last time tomorrow. Are there any nominations for chairs? Fiona. Oh,
Yeah.
Fiona is here. Yes.
Fiona Members, IVSA Netherlands number 121. I'd like to nominate Tara Donna from IVSA Italy for chair for the network.
Okay. Everybody? Yes.
Anna Garcia, IVSA Italy. I accept the library.
Perfect. You sound like you have something to do. Can you repeat your bidding number? 5. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't hear. Any other nominations? Yes.
IVSA Greece, number 83.
Okay, perfect. Any other nominations? No, here.
Alexandra IVSA Mexico, by the number 79. I would like to nominate Ignacio Salazar from IVSA Mexico for the position of chair of the Royal and Exotic Animals Network.
Now I saw the copy.
Then the Royal IVSA Peru, I accept his report.
Okay. Any other nominations? Susanna?
Susanna Salvatori, IVSA Italy. I nominate Moana Marathi as chair of SCOVI.
SCOVI?
Yeah, veterinary education, sorry. Standing Committee on Veterinary Education. My meeting number is 74.
Moana?
Mohana Marathi, IVSA India, wedding number 53. Thank you for the nomination, I accept it.
Are there any other nominations? Felix?
Felix Metzger, IVSA Germany, bidding number 30. I would like to nominate Christiana Rolade LGBT, IVSA Nigeria, for the position of the chair of the Standing Committee of Animal Welfare.
Okay, is there someone to accept on their behalf? Martha?
Marta Mastrodotti, IVSA Italy, meeting number 11. I would like to accept her behalf.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed and we'll be opening it tomorrow. Next up on the agenda is nominations for regional representative.
Calvin Paget, IVSA Switzerland, bidding number 99. I would like to nominate Ji Su Ta from IVSA Malaysia as the next regional representative.
Asia. That does make sense. I'll make the top. Next agenda.
IVSA Malaysia, I accept.
Thank you, GC. I'm trying to pronounce the names. Any other nominations? Seeing our nominations are closed, we'll be opening it at the next GA. Are there any nominations for Secretariat? Timo?
57th, Emmanuel IVSA Belgium. I'd like to nominate Anouk van Alphen, IVSA Switzerland.
Anouk?
Anouk van Alphen, IVSA Switzerland, number 49, I accept.
Ariana?
Ariana Zamora, IVSA Peru, bidding number 52, I accept.
Yes.
Desiree Hong, wedding number 44, IVSA China. I'd like to nominate Valeria from IVSA Peru for the position of secretary.
Valerie?
Ariana Zamora, IVSA Peru, number 52, I accept.
IVSA Poland, number 6. I would like to nominate Jagdetta Branda, IVSA Turkey.
Okay. That's a very complicated name for me to pronounce.
Jagdetta Branda, IVSA Turkey.
13, I would like to nominate Lorena Maria Montanal for the Secretariat.
Which MO?
IVSA Romania.
Okay. Lorena?
Lorena Mudano, IVSA Romania, bidding number 77. Thank you for the nomination. I accept it.
Any other nominations? Good. At least we're filling up the Secretariat as we should. See if there are no other nominations. Nominations are closed and we'll be opening again for the last time tomorrow. Nominations for Trust. Susanna? You're a busy bee today.
I gotta be focused. Susanna Salvatori, IVSA Italy. I nominate Ajar Saidi, IVSA Exco, for the position of Trust.
Ajar?
Anastasia, IVSA Exco, bidding number 62. I accept.
Wonderful. Any other nominations? Felix?
Felix Metzger, IVSA Germany, bidding number 30. I would like to nominate James Caligiuri, IVSA Exco, for Trust.
James?
James Caligiuri, IVSA Exco, I accept.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed and we're opening at the next GA. Any nominations for 73rd IVSA Symposium? The size are Ireland and Morocco. Seeing none, nominations are closed and we'll be open again tomorrow. Any nominations for 74th IVSA Congress? Okay. Please, I want the nomination tomorrow. That would be lovely. Come talk to us if you're thinking of hosting something amazing as this. Of course, nominations will also open again in Indonesia. So nothing final, you're not going to be elected early. You just need to prepare a little presentation in Indonesia. And see that there are no nominations. Nominations are not closed, and we will be open again tomorrow. Then James.
James Caligiuri, IVSA Exco. I move to untable points, agenda points 19.2, 19.6, 19.8, 19.9 through 19.16, 19.18, and 19.19.
Good. Any discussion? These are the ones we tabled from the updates. So some of the expo positions and then some of the chairs. Because, for example, Karina is now here. I should have left yesterday evening. So that's just what we're doing. Don't mind all the numbers. That's it. That's it. Are there any other? Is there any other discussion on this? On tables? Any objections? Seeing none, agenda points are untabled. First up, Arrow, which Trinity will give as an Arrow secretary. No? No?
Chair Secretary. I'll be speaking on behalf of us filing our Arrow, unfortunately. So we did quite a lot for Arrow over the past term. Especially interested in building connections with MLOs, our ourselves, like us on the bottom ground, as well as Expo and the Global Fair. So our main tasks were to renew the existing partnerships, sponsorships between global, regionals, the committee and networks, and then also try and develop new partnerships and sponsorships, global, regional, community networks, which I have some great news in the upcoming slides. We did actually. And we wanted to facilitate sponsor engagement. So what have we renewed? Well, Verena Institute, big thanks to them. They're our main sponsor are International Pharmaceutical Students Federation, the International Association of Students and Cultural Relations Science, SIVA, of course, Plums and SCOBY, as well as Royal Canon. There are ones that we still have. So what's being renewed, which we had in the past but still being renewed right now, is Ankara Valley Vet Care, Singapore Vet Show along with the Asia region, their contract, as well as Astacorp. And our new partnerships and sponsorships, which have been signed, is Vets in Mind Alliance, which are signed, VetStream, Standing Committee of Veterinary Education, signed. I know, it's really amazing how much work he's actually been able to do. Commonwealth Veterinary Association, also signed. So currently in development, and I just want to highlight the one in bold in terms of these sponsorships. They're very, very close to being complete, which is IDEX. Please do not ask me what that specification is for. I probably should look that up. Global, but I do ask me later. It's very important. We know all these people, these companies give us a lot of money, and they make sure that we have amazing events like this, as well as complete projects, and also it trickles down to us as well in terms of what we'd like to do, and it's our name and face really global, but it also affects us as on the ground in our local levels. And global food partners and the Asia region, again, very, very close to being complete. And the other ones are in development, but will take a bit more time, is Veterinary United, Veterinary Emergency Group, really like Veterinary Emergency Group. Myself, was the girls in Ireland. Royal Canon with the SSA region, also an amazing contract. I worked on this myself as an ERO secretariat, and I think it's going to provide amazing opportunities for the SSA regional team. One of the points included at the moment, hopefully it'll get signed soon, but that they will have the opportunity to attend an event paid by Royal Canon, and we're very much hopeful that they'll have all the other opportunities that we included in the contract. World Aquatic Veterinary Medicine Association Exotics Network, European Wildlife Vets, and the Exotic Network as well. So, in terms of sponsor engagement and working with committees on some projects, these just for some examples. Royal Canon collaborated with Standing Committee of One Health this term. Verena Institute collaborated with Standing Committee of Veterinary Education for Nutrition Day. Valley Veterinary Care also wants to collaborate with the Alumni Network. All very great news. It does mean money, and that money means we have nice things. And also we get to provide for a lot of people and animals. Don't forget the animals, like we're great, but so really about the animals in the day. So Verena Europe and most ultimately, this is just another note for opportunities for our members, which includes me and all of you guys. We just wanted to mention and remind you all that we have national and local. So, for example, Verena offices like these big sponsors that sponsor global, they have national and local offices that we can contact if we would like to pursue sponsorship. And as an Aero Secretariat, any of the Aero Secretariats are speaking all over our behalf, you can come and talk to us about these kind of things. Because one of the projects we hope to have, which didn't happen, but hopefully in the future will happen, is kind of having a workshop for Aero, so that we can all be better informed in what we're getting into when we go approach sponsors. But for now, I just want to remind you all that even though we would like to always provide opportunities for all of you to approach global sponsors. We just have to be really clear that they have to be local and national offices and not like really at the tier top, because otherwise who we communicate with would get like 100 emails and that would be really crazy for them. So we just wanted to give a quick reminder, and we just want to say we totally support everyone here, and I really appreciate everything you all had to do to be here. It's all very difficult to do everything locally and nationally and also globally. And I just want to say that you can always come up to any of the Aero Secretariats or any of the, we're here right now, so you can go up to us, or any of the EXCO members, because they would be very involved as well, and talk about sponsorships. It's not a taboo topic. To talk about money is not taboo, we understand. And I'm sure you all did a lot to get here. So, and a lot in your own MOs, so we want to support you. But just, yes, not the global tier, but definitely locally. And we really want to support you. Thank you for your attention and this amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Trinity, for your presentation. Good memes, good dancing dog. Love that. Any questions for Trinity? Okay. That's fine. You can just run away from it. I think there's no more questions. You can walk out of there. Yeah. Big shout out to our partners and sponsors. We love them and we're very grateful for them as they're able to allow us to do all the things that we're doing, both for you guys, as well as for the association itself. I'm not going to any tabs yet, I'm just trying to talk to the people. Okay, I still went to the wrong tab. It's still early. Next up on the agenda is the treasurer update. Guys, I know right now we're all starting to get a little tired. As we're going to have our start the event, I can just tell you that. But please do try to still pay attention. If you don't want to pay attention, at least be quiet so that the rest of us can still listen and discuss things. Okay, treasurer, you're ready.
Yuri, IVSA EXCO. So unfortunately, our treasurer was unable to get his visa to attend. So since finance is a very specific topic, we thought it was better that actually, even though he cannot attend, he still explained to us all these finance things because he knows it way better than if I go there and present. So we asked him to record a video that, well, basically you guys will see here, and hopefully, we won't need to call Sebastian to help us with this sound.
Can you hear it? I can hear it. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for however long it takes for us to figure out this something. I want someone who hasn't done it before. Yes, go ahead. Why am I doing this?
When IVSA USA, the number 104, I will just say this for however
Second!
Any discussion? Any objections? We're at ease, which means you can leave. 19.6, treasurer. Tessa, show them how it's done.
Tessa, IVSA Netherlands bidding number 14. I so move.
Perfect. Any discussion? Yes, we can figure it out. So we're going to get someone to talk to Josh so they know how to do the presentation, and then we'll give you the presentation later. Any other discussion? Any objections? Seeing none? Agenda point is tabled. Next up, 19.8 committee coordinator, Karina.
Hi, good morning. Karina Katic, IVSA Expo. You guys can hear me better now, right? Great. Hi, good morning. So, of course, if anybody asks me, I will always tell them that this term of being CC has been bittersweet because though we've faced many challenges, it has been a very fruitful year. So I'm not going to really tell you about the projects because my chairs will do that. So what have we achieved so far? I am very happy that we were able to do all the sponsorship of that with each committee and network. They have been all updated. Thank you to Susanna for really spearheading this, and of course Stella. So we've had a number of collaborations, each standing committee or network collaborating with each other, and of course other external organizations and partners as we have seen in the presentation. Throughout this term, I have seen such an improvement in all chairs and secretaries, and I can't tell you how proud I am of all of you. So we have new partnerships. We have, from Slovenia, we have had the pathology network that was voted in for a strategic planning task force. So this is something new that we've done. We have a number of surveys and studies done, and we have officially the Equine Conference that is going to be upcoming in Morocco this October. And there's just been more activity in the standing committees and networks that we've not seen over the years. So I do commend you guys for this. So of course, challenges faced. As always, we are going to encounter these. These are just a few that I've encountered, as well as my chairs, as well as my secretaries. It doesn't matter, you're still going to have these. So what I've learned, and this is a takeaway for all of you who are interested in running for a position or interested in being part of IVSA, you kind of just figure it out while you are in a position and you realize what works for you or what you can do better. And these are a few things that I have learned. So moving forward, what I've done to make things better for the next CC, for the next chairs, for the new teams, a list of this, one of them really being a guide and a manual, so everything is there. From start to finish, you will know exactly what a standing committee is to all that has happened in the past and present. So these are my acknowledgements. I could not have gotten through this term without, of course, all of EXCO, my chairs, as well as my secretaries. So this is my take-home message for the next CC to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina, for all your hard work. Are there any questions for Karina? None. Then I think you can come back. No? Oh, first Susanna. Sorry. 19.9 Scrovy. Chair. Susanna. It is you.
So, hi everyone. Susanna IVSA, current teacher of Scotland. I would like to talk with you a little bit about our projects, which we've done this year. And I would like to start with SCOBY Ambassador Program because it's super important for me. So the main aim is to promote SCOBY more in local chapter, but also in member organization. During this time we had 25 ambassadors from 25 universities from Asia, MENA, Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the American Pacific region. And for me, it's super important that we as a story was able to give our ambassador prizes from NAMS. So I think it's super cool for them. I would like also to talk a little bit about surveys because policy work is very important for us in my opinion, especially when we are talking about our partners. During this time we made 3 of these. The first one is survey about hands-on training. So basically we wanted to see and analyze the extent of practical education offered by veterinary universities across the globe. This survey is still open, so you can find the link in our bio on IVSA on Instagram, and please fill out this survey and encourage your members, because policy work is super important, but to do this we need your answers. So thank you. Another one was one survey made in Uganda about to show students' perspective and understanding of the term independence of veterinarians, and one represents the results of this survey during the GA of the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe. And the last one, the most important for me because it's based on my personal experience, it's about the neurodiversity, especially about ADHD, because a lot of professionals, a lot of people think that students with ADHD are not able to be good veterinarians, but that's a lie, and I would like to show this during this survey because we are not alone, yeah, and we can just help each other. So please also, if you can, fill out this survey because you don't have to have ADHD basically to do it, because we are having a lot of questions in general about neurodiversity. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about external relation. So this term I was very lucky because I had a lot of partners. So first we continued work with Pani. We did together nutrition diets, which was a quiz. Renew one of our MOU with VetStream and made with them quiz about heart and respiratory disease. And we are going to start diagnostic challenge about toxicology right after this congress. So if you want, please participate in that because this is going to be our last project this term. Also, we renew MOU with FLAMS. That's why we were able to give prizes for our ambassadors. We built a new sponsorship with Urina Institute, and because of that, we was able to do with the Nutrition Day with amazing quizzes and prizes. Also, we were working with VVE on veterinary profession podcast, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later. So, big projects of Scotland. Veterinary profession podcast. It's a super important project for me and for Anandu. We decided to make a project together to show possibilities of how we can work after graduation in the veterinary profession, because we don't have to work with animals, I mean the live animals, we can do a lot of other interesting stuff, but at our universities people don't teach us about that, so that's why we wanted to do it. Right now we publish interview about working in industry, public health, and veterinary communication with public policy professional. I already recorded the last one episode. I guess we are going to post this term, which is going to be about working as laboratory animal veterinarian. Other big project was called the educational grant, and it's everything because of this Urina Institute's sponsorship, because I get money, so I was able to give money to you. So basically, we decided with my team to give 500 euro for IVSA India and for IVSA Nepal to do these events. Basically, I prepared a Google form in which all were able to put their idea and names, and then I shared this form with my team members, but I just delayed stuff about which MO is this because I wanted to be as much anonymously done as possible. I didn't want to influence the decision of my team members, so yeah. So they decided to choose these two MO for the grant. Another thing is veterinary profession lab, because veterinary profession podcast, it's the basic idea to, it was a little bit from my side idea to make veterinary profession map better, because veterinary profession map is basically a map in which you can find various veterinary professions, and now with our podcast also you can watch and hear and get to know a little bit more about all of these things we are having in this map. Study tips. It's maybe not super big, it's maybe not super important because all of you is already at the highest year of your education, but I think it's super cool for our youngest members because we basically ask members of IVSA to put their idea how to study effectively, what you can, make better, and yes, and we share the results of this study tips from on our Instagram, so you can always check it and maybe give yourself any other idea how to study better. VetTalks is basically one of the oldest of SCOBY project. This term we just make a little bit makeover of that because we created VetTalks speakers database to improve VetTalks. Also, we created and updated VetTalks playlist, which could be found on our Instagram and Facebook as well. And this year we added new one VetTalks. And basically for you, if you don't know this project, it's similar to TED Talks, so it's like super short, let's say, webinar about topics, various topics. EWS website is also one of the oldest and biggest projects of SCOBY. Basically, it's just the website with educational resources. So this year we updated it a little bit. We updated the podcast section, YouTube channel section, mobile app section, but also add new one link. You can also find the link on our social media as well. SCOBY workshop, basically this term we did 3 of this. First was during the 71st symposium in Slovenia about research work. Another was during the second IVSA Asia Advanced Symposium about study tips. And the last one was about, during the IVSA Americas Coordinate Symposium about stomatology of small mammals. And I just wanted to show you guys, I just wanted to show you guys everything in numbers because SCOBY is doing a lot of stuff and I don't have enough time to do it. You can scan this QR code and see my written report because in my written report you can see all of things SCOBY did this year and it's a lot. But to be quick, 3 surveys, 2 VetTalks, 5 competitions, 4 episodes of OBB, 3 online events for others for either class, and also in our projects we had participants from Asia, Europe, Americas, MENA, and Sub-Saharan Africa region, so I think it's good. The last thing I wanted to say, because I still have some time, thank you. I know that my team is not here with me, I have Mohana, but the rest of us is not here, but maybe they are going to watch this. I just wanted to thank you, to thank all of my team members, because without them, I did nothing, I guess, because it's always about the teamwork, because team is super important, and without them, we are just one person with a small, opportunities to be active and to work. So I guess that's it. Yes.
Thank you, Susanna. Are there any questions? Lisa. Good question. Lisa Beer, I'm just in the Netherlands, living in number 27. Some of you might know, I was SCOBY chair in 2018, so it's really, really cool to see how far you guys have come, and you are crazy in the best way. Say that. Also, I want to ask about the survey with clinical training. Do you happen to know when you have the results? Because I am doing my research on that for Eve, so maybe elaborate.
Yes. I'm not used to these nitty-gritties yet, so I guess basically, that's why I asked you guys to fill it out and to promote it more, because right now I have like 300 of answers, and it's not enough because it will be good to have at least 500 of them. So I guess we are going to finish it and publish the results whenever we'll get enough answers to analyze it properly.
All right, any other questions? Then Susanna, thank you for your presentation. If you're looking at these committee updates and you're like, wow, these committees are doing great work, first of all, obviously you can still run for the chair position, so I'm going to show you tomorrow. But if you're like, school's busy, my personal life's busy, I don't want the responsibility of being chair, but I'd love to participate in some of these amazing projects that are being organized. After the 1st of September, once a new term starts, that's when applications are going to open, so do keep an eye on all of our social medias. Applications are going to be posted there, and then you guys can apply to be on these wonderful committees. Just so you know. Then up next is the SCOCA update, which will be delivered by Manu, our SCOCA chair. Here you go.
Hey everyone. First of all, good morning. Okay, as the standing manager career and coach chair, I regret that I was the only one who got nominated to be the part of as the chair, because I really thought that we get a good competition, but I didn't get it. It's because at that time SCOCA was not that much famous or something, I don't know. But I am very happy that this time there is people to compete for SCOCA chair, really, and I appreciate that. And about the project, I'll just quick run it. And the first project is, as Susanna mentioned, this Kovi and SCOCA project together. They were a professional podcast, and I guess she gave a good view about that. I'm not going to repeat about it. So these are some of the interviews that we did. You can check it in Instagram and YouTube to see it. That is really amazing. If you watch it, you can understand how detailed and specific they talk. So if you are interested in running or going for this profession, you should definitely watch it and get a good idea of it. And next is about the workshop at the IVSA Regional Symposium by alumni chair Dr. Shamijo. This is a role. And the next is workshop that is we ran it as a collaboration with SCOPE and kept motivated. Unfortunately, we didn't got that much participation in the event, but that is really good. And the next is the workshop in the IVSA Leadership Symposium Americas. I really want to stress this because Dr. Bart was being a good part of IVSA and helping especially SCOCA from the part of EVRI, European Veterinary Association. We had done a lot of projects together, and we are having the workshop here in Denmark with their help actually. So this is Bart, and he's from European Veterinary Education Research Industry. And this is the last webinar we did with our favorite president, Yuri. I did this certificate as I listened to him, and I studied it from him, and I did after attending the webinar, which was really helpful. Okay, as the social media team, it's like updates about the social media. It's not that important. We did an educative post, a couple of educative posts. We feel it is important, and you can find it in the Instagram. And this is the upcoming workshop. I guess if you are having the workshop on SCOCA, you'll definitely be having a great time because we really planned it. We are planning to be more fun and not having a lecture type of workshop, but more of an interactive kind of workshop. And to my team, I want to say that I had some step backs as working in teams because we had some fall-off of active committee members during the term. For that, I want to thank our favorite CC, Karina, for helping me out a lot when I was working hard, maybe. That's it with SCOCA. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Are there any to, oh, sorry, see, oh, Trinity. Trinity Doctor, IVSA Ireland, thank you so much for your great presentation. Just from hearing that your partner workshop would be emotional intelligence, and I think that's amazing. So, in terms of that, could you slow down? Louder. Seeing that in your presentation and your upcoming workshop has to do with emotional intelligence, could you expand a little further as to why you think this is really important fields that we understand emotional intelligence, like what that means? Does that mean that we're all big babies, basically? Or does this mean, like, in a different way? Just because I love emotional intelligence, so I'd like to hear a little bit more, if that's okay.
Okay, for that, we think we are not babies, but we are still babies. In not an age, but like there's a lot we have to improve. That's what I understood working with IVSA and with my friends also. There are situations where we have to apply sympathy and empathy and a lot of other traits of emotional intelligence, which we are not that good at, really. And we are not doing it as a very child, training up little kids, something like that. We are doing it as like 2 sessions for clinical and non-clinical one, and we are doing it as interactive, and we are making it into groups, and we are making people to open up themselves and find the fault in themselves, and in that way, we are not going to do it like this is the emotional intelligence, you have to follow this step, it's not that. So we are going to have a very chill session, but eye-opening for ourselves. That's it.
I hope that answers your question. It has been answered. Any other questions? See, now we move on to the next agenda point, which is the Standing Committee on Wellness update, which will be done by Karina.
Hi, good morning again. Karina Kansnik, IVSA Expo. So, unfortunately, my old chairs couldn't have the opportunity and ability to be here, so I will be presenting on their behalf. So, for the Standing Committee on One Wellness, so we've had a number of projects. So, first of all, we've had the mentor-mentee project with IVSA alumni, and this is something that's been ongoing for a couple of years. I do encourage you guys to get involved. It's really good to have a mentor and for alumni to be the mentees, because being in this profession, there's a lot that we don't know, and there's a lot that we need some guidance, we need some advice, and what better way to get it from our own IVSA members. So we've had a stress awareness week, and it was just for school to really help you guys understand what is stress, how do we deal with it, and how do you support someone who is going to be stressed, because we are in a stressful field. Being a student alone is just, So we've had the ADHD neurodiversity project along with School Week. This was a long-term successful project with numerous events and activities that were planned, and I really do commend both Constantina and Sana for their work on this. So we've had, I don't know why I got sentimental, but we had the Wellness Week. And during the Wellness Week, there were a number of activities that school did. So these were the number of activities. And for Wellness Week, there were MOs that did a number of projects for themselves. So these were the winners of those. So congratulations. We also had Solidarity Week to really acknowledge this and support. So the online workshop, which Anandu has already stated. So this was a collaboration with SOCA. So other projects. So we have the Scout Ambassador Program, which has been very successful. We've had a lot of active ambassadors. We've had the Scout Party Stimulator during the first original symposium of the Americas. And we've had a big call for AFCON's for the Wellness Toolkit, which is schools' very own website. What are some ongoing things? There is the Wellness Study Concept Plan that we are working on. So this is something that the new term will take over. So some of the challenges that we face with school, there were inactive members, there were language barriers, and unfortunately we did have the resignation of a chairperson. And following that, we did have the interim chair, which is Karina Renassa from IVSA Indonesia, to take this place. So thank you to the Scout team for all that you've done for this day. I really am proud of all that has been done and all the projects and all the hard work. So any questions?
Okay, then. Up next, scotching, which will also be done by Karina Sims, the scotching.
Okay, so for the Standing Committee on Animal Welfare, again, she was unable to make it, so I will do this on her behalf. So what is SCORE? They deal with animal welfare for the betterment of animals in all various aspects of veterinary medicine. So this is the team. Thank you for all your hard work. So some of the projects that we've done, there's the SIBA Animal Welfare Grant, which is a partnership with SIBA, and this is something we've been doing over a couple of years, and it has been a very successful project. These are the list of MOs that have been selected. We are still in the process of doing a few of the contracts and getting all the details, but that is the goal for the end of the term, to have all contracts signed, done, and have them executed projects. So this is just a few pictures of what we've had over the past 2 years and past term with the SIBA Animal Welfare Grants and the great work that you guys have been doing. So they do have a calendar. They just try to educate you guys on all the dates that we have surrounding veterinary medicine and animal welfare. One of the projects that they've done is Global Voices, where these are persons really wanting to contribute and share with you their take on animal welfare and their opinions, their views, and what it really means worldwide and how it differs. So, of course, we've had a number of surveys. SCORE has completed a survey which was the examination of the animal welfare status around the world. So I'm hoping that we can publish this result soon. So they've had the Puppy Mill Action Week, where this week they recognized what puppy mill is and how this affects the welfare of the animal. We've had a lot of partners, and this is something that could not have been done without our ERO. So there was a statement on the lab animal usage, and that is all. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Karina. Up next is the stroke update, so our Center for Young One Health, which is going to be delivered by Marta.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Hi everyone, I'm Master Dr. IVSA today. I'm giving this presentation on Mariam's behalf as a part of the publications team of school. Karina, I'm sorry, I lied to you because I told you that it was going to be a short presentation. Sorry. first part is going to be about our social media campaigns that were carried out on our Instagram page mainly, and then the second part is about other relevant activities that were carried out. So we started the year with the One Health Awareness Month, which was in January, of course, and we shared weekly infographics that highlighted different One Health topics, such as biodiversity and climate change, neglected tropical diseases, and the role of wildlife in the spreading of diseases. So you can scroll through our Instagram page and find everything about these important topics. In January as well, we opened a call for the school ambassadors, and the 30 ambassadors have been selected. So 30 is a pretty huge number, and in fact we got to cover almost all regions. The aim of the ambassador is to create a connection between the committee and her or his country or university, to disseminate knowledge and raise awareness on important One Health topics, to mobilize support, so they play a pretty important role. And that's why every month we decided to select and celebrate an ambassador of the month, which was celebrated on our Instagram page as well. Then we celebrated the World Neglected Tropical Diseases Day, so we didn't celebrate the diseases, but the International Day, of course, which was on January the 30th. And yeah, there was an Instagram infographic as well. And a Royal Canin webinar, this was very cool. It was on March the 1st, and the theme of the webinar was pros, cons, and foodborne zoonotic risks of raw diets in small animals. And there was a post-webinar, so a post-webinar quiz with a prize for the winner. And we decided to celebrate the International Women's Rights Day, which is on March the 8th. And we did that in collaboration with the Equine Network, with SCOW and SCOBY. And yeah, we decided to recognize the impact of some women in veterinary medicine by selecting some women from all of the different areas and to highlight their career and the impact that they had on veterinary medicine. Okay, World Food Safety Day. World Food Safety Day is on June the 7th, and we created an infographic about that. And also we had a webinar which was on the 23rd of June. Okay, the second part of the presentation, the other important projects that we carried out. The survey on rabies. The aim of the survey was to find out how anti-rabies vaccines are administered among vet students, and the focus in particular was on the sub-Saharan Africa and Asia regions, because that's where the disease is still endemic. And yeah, the survey is still on air, so please go to our Instagram page, find the graphic, and fill out the form. And I want to remember you all guys to please take the Rabies Educator Certified Online course, which is provided by the GARD, the Global Alliance on Rabies Control. And yeah, it's on our Instagram page as well. So, okay, then the Global Public Health Week SCO Conference. The Global Public Health Week is an annual event that is created by the WFPHA, which is the World Federation of Public Health Associations. And the aim is to raise awareness on public health, of course. We held a virtual conference. The theme was to build a more equitable, sustainable, and resilient health system. And on the first day, which was April the 3rd, it was organized in collaboration with the UEVH, which is the Union of European Vet Hygienists. While the second day, which was the 4th, the school ambassadors gave a presentation about climate change in the regions, and there was a roundtable discussion with some law and board representatives as well. Then the AMR Multi-Stakeholder Partnership Platform. The platform aims to catalyze a global movement for action against AMR, which is antimicrobial resistance, by fostering cooperation among different diverse range of stakeholders at all levels across the One Health spectrum. and Mariam, which is the chair, has had an introductory meeting as an IVSA representative so far. The one at conference, the theme was Uniting Youth for One Health, integrating human, animal, and environmental well-being. It was organized in collaboration with the IVSA, which is the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation, and with IAAS, which is the International Association of Students in Agricultural and Related Sciences. Mariam, the chair again, gave an opening speech for the IVSA side and participated in a roundtable discussion, and also gave a presentation that showcased the project of our organization in terms of one health projects. I'm almost to an end. Sorry, no, that's a spoiler. Don't read that. Because there is a missing slide. So we forgot to mention that we participated to the SSA symposium, which is the symposium of the Sub-Saharan Africa, which was from July the 6th to July the 9th. The symposium was focused on One Health, and Sunday conducted a workshop on policy writing, policy brief, and One Health, while I moderated the panel discussion on responsibilities and roles of the SSA students. And the question was, how can I help? Okay, we came to an end, and I want to read you a message from Mariam. Dear IVSA members, as my term as chair draws to an end, I would like to appreciate all who turned up for school events, webinar, competition, and workshops, because without you, our event wouldn't have been possible. To all school ambassadors and school members, thank you for your amazing ideas, for the support and ensuring school was able to achieve lots of things during our term. To IVSA officials that I got to meet and work with, it's been an honor. Mariam Zacharias, co-chair.
Well done. Thank you. I saw Susanna already posted the scrolls already in the delegates chat, so maybe Martha and Karina and Anandu, if you guys want to still share some things with the delegates from your committees, your respective committees, feel free to put them in the delegates chat, and then you guys can have a look at it. Next up is Equine, which will be joined by Alice from Indonesia.
Halo Susiana, IVSA Indonesia. Okay, so hi guys, because Anastasia cannot attend here, so I will present on her behalf. So I just want to present quickly. Yeah, so for Econ Network, what does the Econ Network do? We are a place for people to connect and share experiences and opportunities with the Econ Network around the world. So yeah, this is our Econ Network for this time. Anastasia as chair and other people here. And what we do in this term, we have themes of the month, January until August, and we do newsletter and we'll email every month, and we do a journal club by Google Meet platform, and we have Bread of the Month, you can see in our Instagram account, and weekly quizzes in our Instagram story. And the last, you can follow our Instagram
If you're a horse enthusiast, if you're a wild and exotic enthusiast, pay attention to the next update. Karina.
Hi, me again. I hope you don't get fed up hearing my voice. So, of course, again, unfortunately, the chair could not be here with us today, so I will be giving the update on her behalf. So, the wild and exotics next week. So we have the animal superpower. They just try to show you guys different animals from around the world and what their specialty is, what is their fun facts, what are they known for. So they've had this online webinar. We've also had at the first IVSA Americas Regional Symposium, we've had the webinar that was done there. And this regional symposium was very based on wild and exotic animals. So they really tried to play their part in it and deliver as much as they could. So we had the key concepts for nutritional management of wildlife under human care. They've also had to get involved in wildlife as a vet student, so the tips and recommendations. So to end it off, as we saw in our ERO presentation, we've had a number of new partners, and we do have the Expedition Project, European Wildlife Vets. There's one other here, but it was on the ERO presentation. So I do urge you to check them out. They have membership specific. Go to their website to look at what they have. They do offer courses, they offer a lot of other opportunities for you guys. So if you're interested in wild and exotics, yeah, sign up for wild and exotics. Next week to be a member, but you just attend and stuff. Thank you so much. I just want to tell you guys, please run for a chair. If you love wild and exotic animals, run for the chair. If you love equine, run for the chair, and it goes for all others. So are there any questions?
No questions. Alumni Chair, you go ahead.
Okay, so for the alumni next week, again, unfortunately, Shanice could not be here with us. So thank you for this and to your team for all that they've done this term. Of course, as I mentioned previously, we've had the mentor-mentee projects with alumni members being the mentees, and I just think this is great to have past IVSA members who've graduated, who've had new experiences being the mentees for us. We've had this collaboration on Mission Rabies Alliance during the One Health Month. We've had alumni collaborating with our equine network to give equine case presentations. So this really allowed us to have our very own members give back to us, have them educate us after going through their veterinary degree. So we've had the Social Sciences in One Health webinar, in Food Safety and in Food Security Working Group. This was also in collaboration with SCOPE. So we've had a mixed species case presentation. So alumni on their own, they did case presentations. I think this is a great way of learning. We get a more clinical aspect, we get a more feel of what is it to expect in a case when we do become veterinarians. I think it's a great learning experience. So we had the alumni event that took place in Slovenia earlier this year. We had the Asia and Americas Regional Symposium workshops, which they both contributed in. So the unilateral destructive rhinitis in a stray rabbit during the Americas Regional Symposium, and then we had bovine infertility as a major concern in the dairy industry as another one in the Asian Regional Symposium. So what is to come? There is an MOU being drafted with veterinary recruitment. There is a webinar with SCOPA with veterinary recruitment on CV writing. So this would be similar to what our very own Mr. Key has done with SCOPA to kind of continue with this series of workshops and things that we think you guys will need. a career opportunity outside of clinical practice with Dr. Mugo. So this is the team. Thank you so much for all that you guys have done. And this is the end of me talking. So thank you so much for listening to me. And are there any questions? You can clap now.
Thank you, Karina. We are flying through agenda points. How wonderful. Europe Regional Group. Mateo.
Matteo Cardinale, IVSA Italy, building number 66. So I am the current regional representative of Europe, and this is what we've been doing during this term. First of all, I want to present you my regional team and to thank them so much. We've had this term people from many different countries applying for a big part of the regional team, and I want to encourage you all for the next term, if you want to have a position in IVSA Global, but you don't want to run for an official position because you feel like it's too much responsibilities, you can always run for any of the regional team or sending communities team, and it will be awesome to have you in these teams. So, first of all, a big thank you to my team. Regarding the projects that IVSA Europe has promoted this year, one of the main project we had in the region this year was the first European Regional Symposium. It was hard to organize this event, but it was a great honor to have it this year as the first regional event. The theme of the event was Pursuing a Sustainable Innovation, and it was hosted from May 4th to May 7th in Turin, and it was organized by IVSA Italy and IVSA Turin. So we hosted 80 delegates from 12 European MOs, and the European Symposium also held the live event of the Standing Committee on Wellness. During this event, we also had the regional meeting, during which I shared the opportunities that the IVSA Europe region offers to its members, and the opportunities that IVSA Global also offers to members in the European region. Also, during this event, we had the fundraising for the Development Fund in the form of merchandising. So we sold t-shirts, pins, and other pieces of merchandising which I don't remember. But overall, it was a great event, and thank you all. Thank you to all the people that participated and to the MO that hosted it. It was awesome. Also, if you're thinking of hosting if your MO is thinking of hosting an international event, but you feel like hosting a international congress or symposium of IVSA would be too much work, you can always apply to host the next European Regional Symposium if you are from the Europe region. Regarding the MO's activities, during this year we reactivated 2 MOs that became inactive, which are IVSA Romania and IVSA Spain. Congratulations, I'm so proud. To the communication with the MOs, there are 2 main things that I would like to highlight. Since the beginning of this term, we created some WhatsApp groups for all the MOs in the Europe region. There was a WhatsApp group that we used to share the communication with MOs that only IVSA officials could use to share the opportunities for the people in the European region. And there was also a WhatsApp group open to all board members in the Europe region, where everybody could send messages, so that could be used by board members in Europe to chat with each other. Also, something very important is the AMOS questionnaire and the one-on-one meetings that the Europe region had with the European AMOs. So the questionnaire, for the one-on-one meetings, the Europe region had meetings with all the European MOs, at least we tried, and to come prepared to this meeting we sent to all MOs a questionnaire with some questions, so that we would know in advance before the meeting what are the main strengths and struggles of each MOs. Out of 32 actually MOs, we don't have 33 MOs anymore in Europe because some of them got terminated this year because they have been inactive for 2 years. So on this map we still can see IVSA North Macedonia, but she actually got terminated this year. So out of 32 MOs in Europe, 20 MOs both scheduled the meeting and answered the questionnaire. 6 MOs only answered the questionnaire, and 6 MOs did not answer the questionnaire or schedule the meeting. So from this questionnaire and these meetings, I had the chance to gain a lot of knowledge about what the MOs are doing, like what are the strengths and the struggles of the MOs. So first of all, I would like to highlight the things that MOs excel in, which is first of all the events organization. So most of the MOs are great at organizing seminars, workshops, and this is great to hear because this is one of the main purposes of IVSA, so sharing cultures, sharing knowledge. Group exchanges is also something that is always something that IVSA MOs are always very active in, and they're always very good in doing so. Also creating an inclusive and accepted community within their country and university. This is something that you guys do very well, so congratulations. But unfortunately, MOs also have struggles, also have problems, and the main problems that I could witness is mostly lack of continuity before and after COVID pandemics, because of during the pandemics, let's say the people in the previous boards graduated and then new people took over, and there was this lack of continuity. Also, there is a little bit of difficulty in understanding IVSA global structure and functioning, lack of student interest in joining IVSA, and lack of member engagement, limited finances, lack of interest towards IVSA global activities, difficulty in finding partners and sponsors, and lack of communication and cooperation between local chapters and MOs. Especially for for some of the MOs that have multiple local chapters, it can be hard to create, to keep communication between all the local chapters. So these are the main things that we as IVSA Global have to, and the IVSA Europe region has to work on to help their MOs to improve. Also this year we had a new partner for the region, which is Purina, a new sponsor actually, which helped a lot in the organization of the European Symposium and will help in the future to organize some new projects at the European level. Finally, we had Europe region together with FVE and FECAVA partner with Zoetis to create a working group on diversity, equity and inclusivity and mental well-being in Europe. Each of these associations has appointed 3 people to be part of this working group, and from IVSA we have Susanna Cecali from IVSA Poland, Jacopo Filippini from IVSA Italy, and Brasislav Rinja from IVSA. So that's that's all, and I want to thank you all for the amazing year, the amazing journey. It was amazing to be able to network with all these MOs in Europe and to get to know you, and yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Alright, then up next is the Americas Regional Representative update. So Tammy, please do come up. Just so you guys know, after this we're going to go into a break. Hopefully there's coffee. There is a lot of coffee. And it's better coffee. Please. Only one more guys. We're so close. Thank you. Tammy, take it away.
Tammy Liberon, IVSA Group. So this is my report as the Americans Regional Representative. And since it's the first report I'm doing, I would like to introduce to all of you my amazing team. Things I think so amazing, and I've told them here, thanks Ariana and Hernandez for your hard work, and to all of them for being so amazing. The first thing that we have been working on is the communication with the boss. As the regions, we have a regional presidents and EOs, and we have been sharing all of IVSA opportunities, and we worked on translating everything to Spanish, English, and Portuguese to try at least to eliminate the language barrier that we have in the region, so members can feel more comfortable and understand every opportunity better. And I just want to say thank you to Ricardo, our information officer, and Valeria, our MO support officer, for working so hard on translating everything. Then we have the one-on-one meetings with MOs. I have scheduled one-on-one meetings with all my MOs every 2 months throughout the term. Basically, because I wanted to improve the engagement between the national boards and IVSA, and also to improve the engagement and to help them to improve the engagement between their boards and their members, and also to help them with their ongoing and future activities. We had the third Americas Renal Symposium, and it was about medicine and quality animals. It was held in June, and we had more than 100 participants registered. We had all Sundays, committees and networks workshops, and thanks to all chairs for their work here with us. We did a collaboration with the Government Service Animals Network, and it was amazing since they had 2 lectures. And also we had a renal meeting with attendance of 6 out of 9 MOs, and the main objective of the meeting was to connect members with their MOs, because it's very important for us to have members engaged with their MOs. So we got new countries for the region, and you will know which countries they are in some days. And that means that new and more of students from the Americas region will be enjoying being part of the IVSA family. And I want to say thank you to my recruitment officer for making this possible for the Americas region this program, and we're also happy for that. As we got new hosts for the region, a big problem that we have is that our MOs have lack of information about IVSA, so I've scheduled training sessions with my new MOs, basically for training them before they are accepted, so we can have better prepared MOs, and which means better prepared boards, so they can have better members and better members engagement with IVSA. And a final message to my region. I just want to say thank you to my MOs, my national boards, the new MOs, my new single MO members of the Americas region for giving me the opportunity to serve as your regional representative for this term. It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Tammy? All right, then the chair will now entertain a motion to go into a 10-minute recess. What?
Bart van Rossum, IVSA IVSA members festlichen.
Any discussion? Technically, someone can still object. Any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, I recess. See you at 10. He's a very proud cat dad. At least I'm training really well to be a librarian at this point, if I ever don't want to be that anymore. Another reminder, we're going to go back into some more discussions again. So if you're speaking, speak loudly in the microphone, hold up to your mouth. The microphone does not bite. That being said, I'm calling the J back to order at 10:47 a.m. Copenhagen time. And the chair will now entertain a motion to untable the treasurer report, point 19.6. Oh, Switzerland. Sorry, Trinity. Do new things. New people. Oh, a microphone will come.
IVSA Switzerland, bidding number 96, I assume.
All right, any discussion on tabling this? In the meantime, Yuri has prepared. Any other discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. Yuri, you can come on up. And you please.
Yeah, the IVSA Exco meeting number 12. I'm very sorry for technical issues that we had in the morning. Not sure if that's in the G bingo, but I'm pretty sure it is. Unfortunately, the video is not working very well with this system. Sorry for this, so I was just studying throughout this part of the morning the presentation, so I'll be giving to you. Yes, and then you can ask questions that I will hopefully be able to answer them all. So basically I will be talking a little bit about the work that was done by the treasurer, John Tahano. Unfortunately, as I said, his visa did not arrive, so he's not able to attend. So basically to start, just often, I think this is a very standard slide that we have in the Treasury report regarding our bank account. So as you guys know, ING Belgium is our main account where we control most of the money. We also have an account in the United States at the Bank of America. Right now this account is in the process of, let's say, an upgrade, just depending on the final submission of our 501c3 forms, exactly. And then this account can be also improved in a few aspects for us. Besides this, we also do have a PayPal wallet that is very common and widely used at live events, where you guys can use this to transfer us money digitally, so you don't need to actually have the currency of the country when buying merch. Our Wise account that is also widely used when we need to make transfers in different currencies, or for a few of those that also struggle to make the conversion when sending, for example, their membership fees to us. So Wise is also very good, and usually has way lower taxes and fees than making a regular transfer and converting cash through regular bank accounts. And then you have this one that is underlined, that is the ING Belgian Savings Pro. That is our reserve fund account. This is a new thing that I will be explaining now. Yes. So this was one of the goals that we have. It was also reported in Slovenia. It was one executive session that we discussed a lot about having the reserve funds actually generating money for the reserve fund itself. So until a couple of weeks ago, the reserve money was inside our regular ING bank account, and with time that money technically is not utilized. For us to actually use that money, we need to have GA approval for it, and in which luckily for the past few years we did not need that. As the name says, the reserve account is more like an emergency money that we have. So yeah, so since it's not used and with time in inflation, this money is just losing its value and it's just stopped there. And we always thought it would be interest that it generates at least a correction for the inflation, if not an actual profit that will help the actual reserve fund. So why it took us quite a few time to do this? As I said, our current Bank of America account is still pending on a final documentation that will enable all its future features for us. And ING Belgium, unfortunately, did not have any low-risk investments available for us, so we could not invest the money anywhere. But luckily, we were informed that this was now a possibility. This ING Belgium Savings Pro is inside the ING Belgium, our main account, but it's a separate wallet that we have there. The good part of this is that this allows us to easily and fastly transfer the money in case there is a need. It's almost like if it was there the whole time, so we don't actually have those waiting periods, and sometimes in some investments it waits for 30 days, 60 days, or even more. It's free of charge savings account, so we don't actually pay a maintenance fee per month to have it running. The only thing that we actually pay is that an interest fee, because again, the money is put in there, and the bank is using to make investments, low-risk investments for us, so we do pay a fee, an interest fee, on the profit that it generates. If I'm not mistaken, the interest fee is around 25%, again, just on the profit. If there is no profit, no fee. And on the actual money that we put there, also we do not pay anything, which is good for us. So right now we also have, interest rates. I said interest fee. I'm very sorry. So there is a maintenance fee that we do use, that is what they charge on the profit they generate. And we do have our interest rates, that is basically how much the account generates for us. So it's not much, but again, it's a very low risk investment fund. So it generates 0.4% a year. And after 1 year that the money stays there, we also get an upgrade of an additional 0.25%. So hopefully, when this will be reported at the Congress, all the money that we have there will be generating 0.65%. And on this profit, there is of course the fee that the bank charge from us. That is around, sorry, I need some water. It charges around 30% of the profit generated. Thank you. Okay. Then we also have our traditional funds. So we have the central fund, that is the money that IVSA uses on its regular activities, transfer, opportunities, reimbursements, all that, and also paying our bills is made through the central fund. We have the development fund that is usually used for all the DAD opportunities, and the income mainly comes from, as reported before yesterday, the main income comes from the DAD activities that are made during these events, and also through our donations. Important point to mention, the development fund is an autonomous fund, so the money that is there is actually, how can I say this, is not at the moment reported the same way as the central fund money, so we do not necessarily have a budget for it. The money is there and can be used. And finally, we have our reserve fund, that is the one that I've been talking a lot, so every term, every budget, a part of it needs to be designated to the reserve fund, and this money cannot be utilized by us unless there is a request and approval by the GA. So, talking a bit about our development fund, those are the expenses that we had so far. So, as was was brought in the report. We had 4 scholarships that generated an expense in of 3,803.35 euros. We do have 1 travel grant from Brazil. These are remaining expense that we have from the Congress in Brazil, in which we had a project we were able to bring, and we were able to reimburse the travel ticket of 5 IVSA members that were covered by the AD opportunities, and also the expense attached to purchasing all the merchandise that was sold in Slovenia during our symposium. Again, you can see that it's still missing a few expenses. For example, the ones that were made in buying the merchandise from Italy, and the ones that were made to buy the merchandise for here, because there is a whole logistics on this, and we unfortunately had some step backs on the way that delayed a little bit our accounting process, because life happens, and sometimes that's unfortunate. So far the expenses of the development fund is around 6,217.85 euros. Then we have the income. The income is also a little bit more challenging process for us, because we do receive money in many ways, and also we receive money in species. So you get species that you say in English? I'm not sure, but you have the option to pay in cash to us at the moment, and this also generates a few difficulty because our treasury is not from Europe, and we receive money in euros. So there is some extra talents that we need to do, and this takes some time. So right now, what is already budgeted for us, the income is from the entire DAD merchandise and the auctions in Slovenia that generated for us 5,348.67 euros. We still need to add the income that was generated from the first regional symposium in Europe, and also we're going to have to add the income that was generated for the 72nd IVSA Congress in Denmark that is happening now. Again, this is a preliminary report. In Indonesia, we will be receiving all the full values that we receive. So as you can see, our total income is a little bit below our expenses, but as expected, since especially the expenses, they are already more advanced in the accounting part than our income, but that's not an issue for us because it's just a matter of the logistic. When presenting, we know that our budget is on deposit for this term and this matter. Then, talking a little bit about our central fund and our expenses. Again, this is preliminary, so there's still a lot of things that needs to be updated. So for example, the expenses attached to this event, I'm talking now about the central fund, so the general expenses of IVSA. So of course we had the second Expo Live meeting. This meeting was cancelled due to logistical reasons. We had, fortunately, a very, very diverse Expo this term from all over the world. And meeting without the actual purpose of a symposium or congress became totally unviable. So we actually did not have this meeting in person. It was just online. We had also the expenses from Slovenia. We still have some of the expenses to be added here because reimbursements, they are still ongoing. I'm very sorry, I just noticed now that it's missing a header. So this column here, you can see the mouse, you can see it. Yes, so this is what we already used. This one, it was what was budgeted for, and this one is how it's remaining. So as you can see, we budgeted 6,400 for the second Expo Live meeting. Since it didn't happen, we used 0, and we have 6,400 left. Okay? Then we also have the expenses for the Congress in Denmark, which a few of them are already made, but most of them is not. As you can see, we have the option, since again, traveling expensive and not necessarily all IVSA members do have this income available for them to spend and wait for the Congress to be over and then prepare the reports and say, we offer opportunity where IVSA pre-reimbursement if needed, so that of course they can attend as well. And this was the amount used. Then we do have the expenses regarding traveling for the officials, which means secretaries, chairs, regional reps, and trust. This is also preliminary because not necessarily all the expenses were submitted already. A few officials attend the symposium, a few officials attend the congress, a few officials attend both, and then just after that they decide which one they would like to receive their reimbursement. Again, this is how much we have budget for it, this is how much we use for it, and this is how much we have remaining. And then finally we have other travel expenses. So we have official travel. This was the travel we had budget for sending our treasure to Belgium because we have to make a live proof that basically the treasurer is the person he is saying he is when we register at the government, when registered at the ING bank account. This is from time to time needed since we do not have necessarily somebody based in Europe that is representing the bank, so we can request for us to do this. We have other relevant travel expenses. Were not used, that's great. And so far the partner expenses that were already, all of them used. We don't have partner travels anymore, so this is almost finalized. And also for sponsors events. So again, we predict, we use, how much we have left. So far, very good numbers. I'm very happy that all these columns are in positive. Okay. Then we have the budgets that we have for each committee. As you can see, and it's quite often asked about, so I'm just going to answer before you guys, because I know that you're going to ask. A few committees have a bigger budget than others. With for example, scoping. The reason for this is, as mentioned in the report, a sponsorship with Arena Institute and also a sponsorship with Plums, which increased their budget, and for the Standing Committee on Animal Welfare, regarding the projects that they do with SIVA. So our agreement with SIVA, part of it must be designated to SCOS, so it's can conduct its projects on funding projects on animal welfare by the RMOs. Again, this is also not final. We still have some projects that are pending on signing and pending on the money to be sent. Then our network expenses. These expenses, they have this budget due to sponsorship that they had that was made before Slovenia with Valley Veterinary Care. As you can see, there is only a budget for alumni, because as stated in our bylaws, you need to be a permanent network to actually have a budget. So since the equine and wild and exotic animals are still Canada networks, they are not included in our budget because we do not have a budget. Then we do have an expense on DAD. This is due to our sponsorship agreement with IVSA Evidencia, in which part of the money they request to be designated to the development fund to fund projects. That's why the IVSA Evidencia project that we had this term. This is just for our internal accounting, since the money actually don't go out of the account, it's the same account. However, we do have this mark for us that the money entered through the sponsorship and also leave through an expense because we are designating it to DAD funds. Finally, we do have the MOD general expenses that are used to cover the top MO competition expenses. Also not finalized because it's happening here. We are announcing the winner here. Then as well, we do have other expenses, official uniforms, business cards, how much we spend on hosting our website, our domains, all these things, this server that we use for our election, and our members portal that together with it also has the whole system for managing our website, and Frederick, our IT guy. Thank you, Frederick. As you can see, this was actually reviewing in Slovenia, in case you were not there or you do not remember. This was not in the regional budget. We moved a motion, it was approved to add this here. It was added with a few extra values, since we were talking, there's also always some fees regarding conversion. The company is based in the US, so we are exposed to conversion variations and also fee from international transfer by the bank. Finally, we do have the GA booklet, in which is an expense that luckily we do not have to use. This is like an emergency expense that we are strongly considering taking it back because we don't print it anymore. We always send it to you guys. And internal communication tools, those were purchases were made throughout the term to improve actually our work. So we have other gyms. Other gyms, a system that we bought to help with the minutes. That's why we are always asking you to speak, wait for the mic, because then the system is captured on the audio and it helps us with the minutes for these meetings, as well as some public relations tools that we use to make graphics and administrate our social medias. Finally, we do have our, as usual, costs that we need to pay to the bank. As you can see, we went a little bit over budget. There was an increase in the fees, which we could not predict because they can change at any time, and they did that after we had the budget approved. And some values on currency discrepancy. As well, always we do separate some funds because our equivalent euro-dollar is not, at the moment, we do have a pre-established value that can change, in which this rate also is a mistake. This is 1.3, not 1.2. Finally, 10%, as stated in our bylaw, 10% of the budget of our expenses needs to be designated to the reserve fund, in which this case was 9,000, this value. And always we use it all because it's already there and it's already generating money for us. And we do separate 5% of unexpected expenses. We do utilize a few of these already, as reported in Slovenia, for the history project, in which we had a couple of dozens of boxes that were quite old, and we needed to take from paper and put it on the computer, and we need to hire a company to do that because it was thousands and thousands of pages. So far our situation is we do have an expense based on an 111,000, almost 500 euros. We utilize 65,000, and we still have 46 to go. Again, this is not finalized. And now the good part, incomes. Yes. So, we do have the income that comes from our membership fee. This income is based on the previous term. Luckily, we did have a significant increase with new MOs entering in January in Slovenia. As you can see, it's not yet, is in the negative. Yet the reason for this is that with the portal, we delayed a little bit the charge of the incomes. But now that you guys are here, listen to all this and the importance of you entering on the portal and choosing your membership size so that we can generate the invoice, this will increase very fast. The whole idea of the system is to facilitate for the future the calculation and also the efficiency in which you guys transfer the money. Plus we have the CF taxes that come from Slovenia and Denmark. From Slovenia still zero, from Denmark still zero because, well, they didn't finalize their budget yet, the event's still happening. And then from Slovenia, it was a little bit below what was expected. This is also because variations that we have since what we planned, the amount of delegates we plan on having, and the amount of delegates that actually are able to plan. Then the income that comes from our sponsors. As you can see, so far we are very good on this matter. I just highlighted SIVA because we planned at zero, but we are just, well, it's just actually pending on the transfer. It was already signed in an agreement with them. They will be transferring again the standard fee, plus we were able to increase with a few new extra projects with them, and this sponsorship value will increase to something around 11,000 euros, yes. And you'll be informed about this project soon because Steve is coming here to actually tell you guys about it, yes. Then we have always the standard ones. We have this brief media, that is income that was generated by you guys entering in our website. And the only pending one is actually an ICRA that was budgeted and was still not made. However, the agreement was already signed, so it's just a matter of they finalize the internal bureaucracy and the money arrived to us. Then finally unexpected income, zero, but however, it's going to be changed this for the next report that you're going to receive, since we were able to do a project with the World Organization for Animal Health, and they were funding a few travels, so a few money will go inside, nothing will change, because it will go to us, and we're going to spend this money because they were funding travels, so we have to pay the people that did this travel. And then the situation is our predicted income for the term was 92,000. At the moment we are in 77, so we still need to increase in 15,000. But again, we are so far very happy with this value because there's still a lot of MOs to pay their fees, and there's still a lot of money that will go into our account for sponsorship. So this is the situation we are right now. We have 33,000 euros in our reserve fund. This money at the moment is already in our savings pro account at MG, so it's hopefully will be increased. Not hopefully, it will be increased. This is the amount we have at our development fund, and this is the amount we have available at our central fund. Remembering something super important, as you can see, we have more money in the central fund that we actually have in our expense account, in our total expenses. The reason for this is that we don't think it's wise that we use all the money available, in the term, and then, well, if we go a little bit over budget, that forces us to use the reserve fund account. And so, in total, that's the amount of money that is at IVSA. Nice. I like to see good values. And that was it. A brief mention from John. He's a guy of very few words. Just enjoy the comments. Yes. Questions? Questions?
Tessa? Can someone do the microphones? Tessa Martin, representing the Netherlands, bidding number 14. Yes, I have several questions, but I'll just ask one because otherwise it gets confusing with the question and answer. True. My first question was, I saw that the money reserved for partner travels was almost all spent, but there's still a part of this year left. So I was wondering if you have, how you planned for that, and if you're going to attend meetings that might be happening the last months of this calendar year, so until January. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Yuri, IVSA Expo, bidding number 12. Yeah, so that's a very, very good point. I'm very happy for your question. Thank you. So I think there was just a misinterpretation here. So this budget is actually valid until September, so there are no actual travels. Plus, you're gonna actually, we have a topic where we're gonna elaborate more on the budget. Oh, sorry. On here. One of the reasons that this value is actually this close to the actual budget is that a few travel expenses for partner events from the previous term were made in the beginning of our term. So they were not in our budget, they were in the previous budget, but they were not utilized. So they fell into ours, but were not utilized in the previous budget. But again, we do not have any partners travel that will be using money from this fund again.
Okay, I assume that answered your question. Trinity? Trinity Docking, IVSA Ireland. Point of information about investment. In the bylaws it says low risk investments are allowed. And as we were talking about accounting for inflation, just because I'm aware of, I suppose, certain portfolios that exist for stocks and I think they're called bonds as well. Is this something we could look into in the future for the reserve fund so that it will make money to account for inflation as well? Or is it that as an NGO we're not allowed to do these things? Could you elaborate further on just what you were mentioning about investment and if we're not allowed or we are allowed? Or we have to, we're forced to only go by the saving, what we can get from a savings account?
Yeah. I will not repeat my name, I swear. That's also a very good question, thank you very much. So, according to the bylaws, we may invest the reserve fund into a low risk investment. It was not done before because our bank account, our main bank account is ING Belgium, and they did not have any portfolio with low risk investments available. Now we do have this ING Savings Pro is a low risk investment. That's why the values are quite low, like 0.4 and 0.25. And the reserve fund at the moment is inside the Savings Pro account. Yeah, I hope this answers your question.
Could you elaborate in terms of
Raise your hand. Is there any discussion? Yes, Julie.
During Dr. IVSA, apologies speaking editor. I just want to know, in terms, just a point of information, even though they do not offer it, are we allowed, like, in terms of that if we could have that kind of portfolio instead of a savings account? I know you mentioned that ING Belgium does not offer it, but I just want to know if we're allowed or not. It counts as a low risk investment, and if it's a problem, if it's not a savings account, it's not possible under a low risk investment.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. I hopefully I got what you mean by this question. So the savings account is actually a low risk investment. It has this name because it's super low risk, because we are basically investing in the government. So we just give them the government money, and they give us with a few. Oh, I'm saying something dumb.
I feel like James would like to just.
No,
Turns out that
Sorry.
very complicated. Are we allowed to question?
Okay.
But still understood. But now?
James, thank you very much, Secretary General, for explaining to me the actual question. So, we do not have the portfolio. If we have available a low-risk investment different than this one, we definitely are allowed to invest. That's one of the reasons we are moving on with the paperwork at the Bank of America in the US, because they tend to have a more wider portfolio available. However, stocks market is by definition medium to high risk investment, so we will not be putting money there.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Mentioned IVSA USA, my number is 117. So it was mentioned that the candidate networks and committees still have their own budget. So I was wondering if they were to request money for whatever they're doing, what do we have money budgeted for that, and where would that come from in the budget?
Okay, I can answer that. Every year, the president-elect and the treasurer, they make a budget for their upcoming term. So the president-elect and then the current treasurer, they make their own budget for their upcoming term, and then there's always money budgeted for the committees. They just choose how much money they want to give, but in general, it's always around a couple of €100, and then as explained, maybe during the presentation as well, is that there's also sponsors and partners for these committees that donate money, and then that money goes towards that specific committee. Yuri would like to also add something.
Yeah, it's just because I think you missed one word that you said, candidate networks. So it's like, that's very correct, thank you. But yeah, so they do not have a budget, but it's indeed possible for us to, if there is an opportunity or something available that we consider important, the chair considers important, he or she, the person can make a request to the EXCO regarding the expenses, and can be discussed. That's one of the reasons we have, for example, our unexpected expense that can be utilized for this. So we have, for example, for this term, we have €5,000 that can be utilized from this budget for the network itself.
Yes, I'm sorry, I took the we all make mistakes sometimes. Tessa, another question? Is there someone, Susanna? As you've not spoken yet.
Susanna Salvatore, IVSA Italy. I have several questions. Take minutes. So, first of all, I was wondering, is in the budget, there is not mentioned, I mean, not in the budget, in the incomes, the money coming from the auctions that we do with the DAD are not mentioned. I was wondering if, I suppose it's not a mistake, but where are they mentioned? So then the scholarships for Brazil would say one scholarship and 390 something euros. I was wondering, was it just one person coming to Brazil with a scholarship, or because I thought there were more, and you mentioned like another number, and it would not, fit the numbers. Then between the expenses, we do have BBC Evidencia sponsorship, and I was wondering why it is between the expenses and not the income. Lastly, between the MOD and EXCO, the EXCO reimbursement for, yes, thank you. The Congress in Denmark, it says EXCO and President-elect travel expenses, and it's budgeted for 9 people, while EXCO is usually 8. But it happens Vanda to already be EXCO, so I was wondering why you budgeted also for President-elect, although maybe you haven't used it. And also, you budgeted because usually President-elects get reimbursed for congresses and symposia, because I thought it wasn't. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, series of good questions, thank you very much. First to start with the development fund question, why it's not listed in our income. So as mentioned here, the development fund actually is an autonomous budget. So their expenses and income is separated from this one, that is the central fund expenses and income. And right now, the way it is, we do not actually have a budget defined and reported for the development fund, which is also something we are considering and discussing to bring for the future, so that when presenting, we also present a more detailed and approved budget for the development fund. That's why it's actually not here. It's the central fund expenses, this one. There was also a question, again on the development fund, about IVC Evidencia. Why here is listed as an expense and not as an income. So, I'm sorry if I'm answering incorrect. So this money goes to the central fund, but for our internal accounting, as the development fund is a separate budget, we need to list this as an expense. So it's leaving the central fund and entering the development fund. Okay. Then we have also a question about the travel grants from Brazil. So why the value is so low? Because most of the expenses for the travel grant in Brazil were made in the past term. This is just remaining value that stayed for this term for several reasons. Sometimes the awarded delegates, they struggle a little bit to get a few reimbursements. It takes a little longer, or it can happen also that they forget a few expenses and they were submitted. That's why we are having here, and I believe that they have that IC is also to complement regarding a few part of the development fund expenses. And then finally, there was a question regarding President-elect. Indeed, so as is stated in our bylaw, the President-elect is a member of EXCO, but is not a full EXCO member. That's why, for example, they don't have a voting right. But this budget is made before the President-elect is elected. So even though the current President-elect is already an EXCO member, I was not sure about this when I did this budget. So that's why it's for 9 people. Since the President-elect is from EXCO, we are just sending 8 people for the event, and I guess we can all agree on the reason why it's important to have the President-elect at the Congress, since we also have the election of the whole officials team, who as the President-elect is a key person into the organization of this event, also in terms of continuity of the presidency position. Yes.
All right. Any further questions? Job?
Anastasia, IVSA Exco. I just would like to, because one of the answers of the previous speaker was auditing the previous speaker's answer, so it was regarding the auctions. Because in the budget that was shown, there was no mention of the auction. Actually, for the merch cycle, it was included in the auction as well. So that was just to point it out.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Are there any further questions about the budget? Tessa? I will give this to you. Take some of your seats.
That's from IVSA amendments reading number 14. Yes, I had a question about the expenses. You showed the 5% unexpected expenses and a 10% to the reserve fund. However, the 5% is not half of the 10%, so I was wondering from what is the expected expenses a 5% and from what is the reserve fund a 10%, because these numbers. The 5% is not, like 10% is not twice 5%, because it's 1,600 and it's only.
All right. Yuri, I assume you would like to answer that.
Yes, thank you very much. Indeed, so I would like to start apologizing for this. As you can see, as you cannot see, there is missing a row here. So basically, if you cannot, after all these expenses, there is a row where we add all of them. So these, all the expenses are added, and 10% of it is taken. So there is a row here that is unfortunately not displayed on this one, but again, there is a whole presentation where we're going to go through the expense in a more elaborate way. The total expenses of activities, funding, traveling, these sort of things, 10% of it goes to the reserve fund, then 5% with the reserve fund goes to unexpected expenses. And then finally, adding all of this, so our activities expenses, the reserve fund expenses, and the unexpected expenses, we have the total expense that we have in a year. I'm sorry that this is missing, but again, when we bring back a promise that will be displayed here, the whole thing in the spreadsheet.
All right. Any further questions about the budget? Tessa? Oh, no. First Susanna. Yes. No, this is the way the chair works. Susanna.
Susanna Salvatore, IVSA, really bidding number 74. So regarding can we go back in the presentation?
Of course.
Thank you.
Where do you want to start?
The part of this IVSA event, that event that I think I am mistaken. Yes, IVSA sponsorship. Sorry. So that was my question. Why is IVSA sponsorship if it is sponsorship and expense? And then regarding the auctions item, I just pointed it out because in the income, the merchandising is mentioned, but not the auction income. So it's like, I know the DF as another budgeting and another, separate account, but I was wondering why we mentioned the merch, but not the auction, if it's the same, situation. Thank you.
All right.
Very, very good questions. I will answer these. Looking at the BD, because I'm almost 99% sure that I will answer the right thing. This was the best choice of words, so that was what right now, how it happened in Slovenia, there was no separation of the money, since again, you can pay in cash or you can pay in transfer, the money arrives. So the money from the merchandise and the money from the auction actually comes all together. We cannot make the separation at the moment, and that's also one of the positive points of this new system we are we're trying here, because then the money goes separated, and then hopefully, if it is an efficient one in Indonesia, we will be able to display everything separated. Regarding this, there's a very good question about the VVC sponsorship, and I'm very sorry that I did not mention. So this actually has no relations with IVSA Global at all. So how it happens is that was made a sponsorship agreement with the organizing committee in Slovenia, and this money was, since we were already pending on a transfer from Valivet, that is VVC, and they had to make a transfer to the organizing committee as well to facilitate their lives. They just made one transfer with the money that was designated to the OC, was also transferred to us, and we agreed on sending this to the OC, since after the event there is also a change, because they need to transfer some tax, the CF fund tax, we need to transfer them some extra expenses that Expo always have, like the extra night, and some expenses for byproduct, a few items for DAD, live auction, silent auction. So we thought it was easier that let's facilitate the life of the sponsor, they transfer all together, and we transfer the money. There was no fee attached since it's a European transaction. I'm very sorry I did not mention this before.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Tessa?
Tessa van Leiden, IVSA Netherlands, bidding number 14. This is my last question. I'm almost done. Can you explain the unexpected income again? I didn't hear it properly. It was listed on unexpected income, but I thought you said something about paying people, so that's an expense, but I was a little confused. So could you please explain again?
Yes. So this was a quick spoiler. I'm sorry if this confused you, because I'm going to do a presentation, I guess, tomorrow of a project we did with the World Organization on Animal Health. So basically there was a travel grant for 5 delegates to go attend the session, and to facilitate, they thought it was better that they transfer the money to us, and then we reimburse the delegates, so it will go here on unexpected income, because it's a transfer that we will be receiving. But again, there will be no change in the budget, because all the money that we will receive, it will go in unexpected expenses, because we will spend it, sending it back.
Thank you for answering all these questions, Lily. Just next time, say your name and number.
You did a 6 opening number 12. Sorry.
All good. Any other questions? Seeing none, we move on to the next agenda point. Just so you guys know, this is just a financial update, a preliminary one, since the term is still going on. The actual budget is also voted on and approved by the General Assembly, but that traditionally happens at the symposium. So you guys know there's actual voting on this, but just after the term is done. You can also do it. I entertain a motion to untable. Oh. I'm not doing anything. James.
James Cudgery, IVSA Exco. Speaking about the budget, one thing that I also do want to announce is we do have to elect 2 financial auditors for this next term, or for the term, and these 2 auditors will be responsible for going through the final budget that is of our term. And then so you guys go through the budget, and then at the next symposium, you will report your findings back to the GA. If you have any questions about the position, I was the financial auditor for the previous term, and Amelie, who was actually one of the members of the organizing committee here, she was the other financial auditor as well. So if you have any questions, we will be nominating and electing those members in the final GA, at GA 9. Just wanted to announce that, so that we can think about. So it's a short-term position. You will just be sent the final budget towards the end of the calendar year to go through it, report your findings, and then they'll be reported back to the GA.
Thank you, James. I will now entertain a motion to untable agenda point 19.22, approval of officials' reports. Alison. Oh, it's not tabled? Oh.
Alison.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay. Alexis Settembino, IVSA Italy, meeting number 21. So I move.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. We move on to approval of the officials' reports, now that you guys have officially had all of your reports. Rory?
Really powerful. IVSA Exco meeting number 12. I'd like to move to approve the officials report. That were reported 12 today and the other sessions.
Second.
Oh, that was definitely more than 15 people. Just saying. Any discussion on approving the officials' reports? I have discussion. I think they did a wonderful job. It's amazing to see IVSA grow even more every single year. And I'm very proud of all the hard work that they've done. So I would like one big round of applause for the executive committee and all of the other officials and for all the amazing work that they do for you guys. Okay, any further discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, officials' reports are approved. Next up on the agenda is the bylaw amendment, nominees of IVSA Global Event Host. Just a second, let me open it. I'm sure you've all read this. Yuri is going to say something about this now.
Yes. Yuri, IVSA Exco, meeting number 12. I would like to move to approve the proposed bylaw amendment entitled Nominees for IVSA Global Event Host.
Second.
I'm sorry, I did it wrong. Okay, so Yuri, IVSA Exco, meeting number 12. So, as you guys can see on this, to zoom here. I'd like to move to add the following sentence at the topic 12.1 of our bylaws. In addition, the nominees must provide the executive committee with IVSA Global sponsor package if they intend to seek sponsorship for IVSA Global sponsors. Therefore, topic 12.1.5 will be the as stated in the screen here that you all can see.
Second.
Good. Is there any discussion? Yuri, as the mover, you may speak first.
Thank you. Yuri, IVSA Exco, meeting number 12. Yes, so the reason first that I presented this is that unfortunately our external relations officer that proposed this bylaw was unable to attend. Now second, our idea with this, as you can see here, that I just repeated because you all read this before. For IVSA, we struggle a lot, and we know that the OC struggles a lot with finding a sponsorship for the event, considering also that we have a very, very busy timeline. At the same time, it's of, I guess, everyone's interest to keep the fee for attending an event as low as possible. So we go into a very important contradiction because we need the sponsors to keep the fee low, and we struggle with that. So our goal with this bylaw is very simple, is that when presenting, you the candidate organizing committee is able to give us like a proposal of booklet. So basically they already have a draft more or less of what they are planning to offer to sponsors, and they will be presenting this. And this would be also something that would facilitate the work of the external relation officer and its team, because since the beginning when elected they would already have some ideas that they could work on, instead of after elected we start working from the scratch with this, which is quite challenging for the ERO team, since they are not directly involved into the organization, and this would put kind of extra commitment from the organizing committee on first preparing this to us, preparing this, presenting to you all, sending this to the external relations team, work on building on it together, and then start seeking our sponsorship. We hope that this will help increase some sponsorship for the events, but at the end we also want the OC to have some facilities, some flexibility in their budget to lower a fee or provide you with better opportunities, nicer coffee breaks, all the things that are super important considering that we have a very busy agenda.
All right. Any further discussion on this bylaw amendment? Tara?
Tara Chasey, IVSA student member, my building number is 22. I just want to say that as a former OC member, I support this motion very much because it would have been very helpful to have something like this in place for our event already. So, yeah.
Thank you, Tara, for sharing your personal opinion. I think nothing else explored that. Yes. All right. So, any other discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. Bylaw is amended. Okay, I probably should have done this before, but I'm going to explain what a bylaw amendment is and why we do them. All right, so the IVSA bylaws are basically like 80-ish pages of our bylaws, which means it explains all the ways in which IVSA functions, and it sets down rules of things that with deadlines or just the responsibilities of the exco members, of the way that we do our expenses, the way that we do our budget. Almost every single thing you can imagine that pertains to IVSA, it's written out in the bylaws. Now, sometimes things come up or IVSA develops as an association, and that's when we amend our bylaws. So for example, we can write in a new committee or a new exco position, which obviously are things that have been done in the past. So that's basically what we're doing. That's why we're amending our bylaws, and then that's something that you guys vote on. Usually, bylaws are amended, or bylaw amendments are proposed by EXCO or other IVSA officials. However, you guys may also amend the bylaws. So if you feel like there is something wrong within our association, or something that could benefit from some improvement or being rewritten in a way, and that's also definitely something that you guys are allowed to do. Just know that bylaw amendments need to be sent out 30 days in advance of the event, as per our bylaws. So if you ever want to do it well in advance and talk to some IVSA officials about it. Yeah, so that's the bylaw amendment. If on whatever is on the screen is not fully to your liking, or you're thinking, hey, let me do something different with this, you're allowed to amend it to a certain extent. It can only be amended in a way that the intention of the bylaw amendment is still the same. So you can add some things, maybe remove some things, but if it completely changes the meaning of the bylaw amendment, then unfortunately that is out of order, so that can be done. But if you want to amend it, you can just say, I move to amend the amendment to state the following, something like that. So, now that you guys know how to amend the amendments, maybe If you feel like it, you can do it in some of the next ones, unless of course you already agree what's on the board. Friendly amendments can also be made, so those are like small grammar stuff or things that don't change the meaning at all. And then grammar stuff, once it's already been amended and it's already in the bylaws, can just be done by the Secretary General without any GA approval, because otherwise that would take too long. If every comma he adds needs to be voted on, it's unnecessary. So that's what a bylaw amendment is, and that's how you guys can also get yourself involved. We still have quite a few left, so you know. Okay. I will now entertain a motion to table. To table agenda point 21. Alina.
Remember IVSA Germany bill number 67, I so move.
Second. Great. Any discussion? Any objections? Any discussion? You lead.
Yuri IVSA Exco, bill number 12, I think just put some clarification on why we're tabling this. So basically, this parliament goes very much along with the proposed idea of the new code of conduct, which has not been approved, and which we did not have time to discuss today, and which I'm pretty sure that you all received the message, and I'm looking forward to take a look at a few amendments that were suggested here. So our idea is to table this because we don't want to approve something that is related to the code of conduct that has not been approved. So that's why we're tabling it.
Any further discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, agenda point is tabled. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess for 15 minutes. For forever until tomorrow. Martha. John, can you give Martha my book?
Oh, sorry. I was too.
Madam Secretary, IVSA Italy bill number 11, I so move.
Any discussion? Any objections?
Not an objection, but has anybody seen my badge? Thank you.
Technically, that is all.
Sorry.
But if anyone is
But
in
that's
the
fine.
back, do bring it back to them. But that's all good. Any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none. Don't leave yet. We're at recess. Please be quiet.